My name is Jill. I grew up in the church, and part of my story is how the Lord walked me through how to live out Ezekiel 36:26, and in the Gospels where Jesus teaches us to pray, "Your kingdom come, your will be done." I actually grew up going to the same church for most of my life up until Covenant Grove was planted, and I feel very fortunate in that I was always surrounded by fantastic spiritual leaders. And unfortunately, I felt from a very young age that the kids in my Sunday school class didn't really care one way or the other if I was around, or not that they didn't like me, just that I was kind of a wallflower, which is fine. But it felt lonely, and I felt left out a lot. I never felt distant from God, but I didn't feel a connection with the kids that were my age. When my mom would take me to middle school group, she eventually gave me a new rule. I had to smile at least 3 people, and only 1 leader counted. Like, okay, fine, I can do that. And after a while, that really wasn't as much effort as I thought it was gonna be. So I went further, and I had to start saying hi to people. And I still felt like really all I got was maybe a hi back, and that was it. But I was learning that if I didn't put anything out, I was never going to get anything back. A few years later, just kind of listening to people around me talk, I really felt weighed down by all the negativity that I heard. It was that just place of living with a negative spirit and a stubborn heart, and not being teachable or only seeing the bad side of things. Something good happens, obviously something bad must go with that. Really felt heavy on me, and I didn't like it. And I remember actually being on church campus and hearing God say to me, "That dark place is where you are headed, and that's not what I want for you, and that's not what I want for my children. You're never going to get a handshake if you don't stick your hand out, and it's completely within my control to stick my hand out first." And when Covenant Grove was planted, my conversations with God kind of looked like, I'm already kind of uncomfortable, so yes, God, I can worship you, which I already do, but I can do that in front of other people with the voice that you gave me. And that turned into, I don't like computers. I really can't stand computers. Technology and I are not usually on friendly terms. And something else about me is I really never saw leadership potential in myself. But God did create me with that potential. And He taught me that I can trust Him when He calls me to do things that I don't like. In Matthew, Jesus teaches us to pray, "Your kingdom come, your will be done." So, Lord, what can I do to bring your kingdom here? I can listen, I can learn, I can respond. And I am the only one who can choose how I respond, whether that's at work, in ministry, wherever that may be. God can use smiles. He can use early mornings. He can use late at night. God can use small talk. I feel like I'm in a healthier place than I would have been had I not chosen to respond the way I did. I don't mind being with people, even though I still feel awkward half the time. Like, I'm okay. And I feel like I can be okay if I feel like someone doesn't like me, or like the kids in my Sunday school class, if I don't feel like they care if I'm there or not, that's okay. I'm still going to be there, and I'm okay with that. God has been with me every step of the way, and I'm still very fortunate that I am surrounded by amazing spiritual leaders. So I've had a number of verses that have helped me through this time. A lot of what I had to do was look at how I thought about myself, and having to remind myself that I am a creation of God, and so are other people. And if I believe that God created everyone and loves everyone, then I can't tell God that I'm unworthy as a person, or I'm not worth spending time with, or that sort of thing. A few times he's kicked me back off with Ezekiel 36:26, and that is, I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart. And I didn't want a heart of stone. That's not who I want to be. And I wanted that new heart and that new spirit, and God's had to renew that every now and then in my mind, but that's one that I fall back to.